Welcome, everybody. This is another video in our state series by the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys. And today we're covering the state of New Mexico. And one of my favorite people, Hal, if you would please introduce yourself to the public.
Sure. My name is Hal Atencio, and I've been practicing law now for 34 years, and in the area of adoption and assisted reproduction since 1994, I believe was my first one.
So, I'm not licensed in the state of New Mexico, and people who are going through these videos are they're doing a little bit of that checklist type of stuff, right? They're saying, can I or can't I go to that state? How friendly is New Mexico to assisted reproduction law?
New Mexico is a very friendly state for assisted reproduction as well as for adoption. I'd say New Mexico and Utah are probably the two most friendly for adoption in the United States. And in terms of assisted reproduction, we do have a provision in the Uniform Parentage Act that promotes assisted reproduction and addresses the rights very clearly of intended parents, so they don't have to worry about a custody battle at the end of a case.
So are there different categories of people that need to have additional information, meaning the LGBT community, or if they're a single intended parent, are there things they should be worried about or need to know, not necessarily worried?
New Mexico, because we are so friendly, we're very liberal as well here. So whether a person is a single individual and they want to have a family, or they're in a same-sex relationship, or they're in just a standard heterosexual relationship, we accommodate all of those interests in growing families. We want to help people and however they come together. We don't care how they love each other, why they love each other. If they are committed and they want to share their family by bringing a child into their world, into their family through either adoption or assisted reproduction, New Mexico is very friendly about helping them do that.
So, like all the other states, there's the contract stage, but a lot of times what people are looking at is how procedurally complex, or what are the steps in New Mexico for a surrogacy, for example.
Okay, well, so the version of the Uniform Parentage Act we have makes it clear that as long as you get your consents before collecting gametes or before transferring an embryo, the intent of the parties will control. I always recommend that people avoid traditional surrogacy or gestational surrogacy. New Mexico is actually now analyzing the newest version of the Uniform Parentage Act, which gives the gestational surrogate some rights to change your mind right up to the end. Well, that's kind of what New Mexico has under common law anyway. And so I'm not too worried about whether they have this process in place. What I'm concerned about is, do they understand the risk of using a traditional surrogate? I try to steer people away from traditional surrogacy just because that gives the carrier the right to change her mind, because this is her child. This is genetically her child. And so even if you agree under the newest version of the Uniform Parentage Act, the carrier can change her mind because she has parental rights. But in a gestational carrier situation where the carrier is not genetically related to the child, she does not have any parental rights, so she doesn't have the ability to change her mind. We don't litigate a lot of these things in New Mexico, so there's not case law on it, but we do follow case law from other states, such as the California decisions that make it clear that if the woman is not genetically related to the child, she does not have parental rights. So you don't have to be concerned about a carrier deciding to keep the child. And we haven't had anything like the case in California where the woman had triplets and tried to keep two of the children and let the single intended father only have one of the children. We don't have anything like that in New Mexico. I don't expect anything like that to come up in the near future either.
Great. So New Mexico really is a go-to state, and we promote everybody contacting our fellows. And so what I'm hearing from Hal today, though, is that there's still different nuances between your cases. And you really should talk to Hal ahead of time and make sure that your ducks are in a row and you've got everything that you need. If you'd like to contact Hal, please go back to the Academy website. We have a map on the website in which you can click on New Mexico and you can get all of Hal's contact information on that site. The site for the Academy is adoptionart.org. Again, that is adoptionart.org. Thank you, Hal, for introducing New Mexico to us today, and we appreciate you.
You're welcome.